What's it like having a Bentley project car? Thanks for coming back. So we're here at the 07 Bentley Continental project car from the depths of bad places on this earth. So anyways, we're jumping right back into it. We're installing the CV axle and just assembling everything that is left in the freaking passenger side suspension stuff. I'm gonna recap last week when I yanked that tripod out of the bucket and then I lost my mind trying to put it back that same day, reusing metal clips and being really ridiculous, doing stuff that was never gonna work. I even pulled out some zip ties. Don't judge me, we all do weird things when we're in a moment of panic. So now with the proper metal rings and the proper tool, I'm able to get the tripod back into the bucket and seal it all up. I didn't really lose any grease. If I did lose grease, I have some extra grease that I would have put in there, but there was not really any grease loss, so I wasn't worried about that. I was more so terrified that by the time I got it all sealed up again, I was going to disengage it again. That would have sucked, but I know what happens. Like, I shouldn't have put that axle bolt in. It all would have been okay if I didn't do that. So 6 of these bolts here, and each one is equally hard to get to, but I use an extension and a wobble head and my never-ending persistence. So on the assembly, it's kind of tricky. So the axle, the CV axle goes into the hub, right, the steering knuckle, and the lower control arm goes into that steering knuckle, and the other lower control arm goes into that steering knuckle. Now, originally I was trying to do it while the steering knuckle was still attached to the tie rod, so I wasn't able to pull the knuckle out to properly just get things into place. Again, like, I was being stupid at that point. I should have just disconnected it, which I ended up doing. Once you've disconnected the knuckle from like everything that's holding it up top, you can so easily pull it forward, put that lower control arm in. As you push it this way, engage that CV axle. Like, easy as pie. But it definitely I took the long way to get there. The old way of trial and error and trying to make shortcuts. Again, we've all been there before. It's not a road that I like to travel down, but I seem to find myself down there quite often. bottle jack because that doesn't slip and slide, and I raised the basically the whole assembly high enough as per the manufacturer's recommendation to the point where it's in ride height and I can torque everything down. Short for a socket to fit on, and I obviously can't fit an impact in here, so that's why I've been using this wrench. Quite frankly, what I should have done is I should have torqued this down before I put this in, but this is extremely difficult to get in once this is in place because it limits the mobility. It is what it is, in other words. A goof when I was putting in my, I'm going to replace this anyways, but when I was putting in my tie rod end, I didn't notice, or I forgot, or I don't know what, had a moment of Alzheimer's, that there's a flat side right here, and that has to be lined up correctly here for the bolt to slip in. So I didn't do that. I rammed it in, and then I just spent the last 40 minutes trying to get it back out to realign it. So remember that. Ah! I actually suspect that the ride height sensor is not functioning properly. I bought a new one. I cheaped out on this. It was there's like a $100 version, an $80 version, and this is the $30 version. So I actually got this on Amazon. I'm gonna replace one of them and just see if it kind of makes a difference, because I do notice that although I have new air struts and there's no problem there, the ride height sensor seems to be a little finicky. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, but I'm gonna give this a try next time I open this Bentley up. It's a ride height sensor. last part of the whole process is just putting the rotor on, which is very heavy, the brake caliper bracket, the caliper itself, and then this very frustrating, annoying metal plate that likes to spring out towards your face ever so often. It's actually really tricky to get back in. I'm sure there's like a magic Bentley tool that's like $1,000 that you can use. I've got my own ways to get this thing in. And then once the car is lowered enough where the tire is making good contact with the ground, but not all of the car's weight is on it, then you torque down that axle hub bolt to 200 Newton meters. Talk about scrap metal. I get so many comments, people telling me that I should put my random metal out for the scrap guy. I actually have a scrap guy, and he does come by here. I just text him and he comes by and picks up like whatever random metal. There's some stuff that he won't take, but most of the time he'll take like control arms and stuff, like random metal that comes from the car. But the theatrical and therapeutic benefits of throwing the stuff in the trash can, it's undeniably fun. So I generally toss it in the trash can and then I'll take it out for the scrap guy. So stop yelling at me about that, please. My scrap guy is great. He takes everything. So I would have taken you all for a drive with Ben, but unfortunately right after I shot that last part, I decided to take the tie rods off because I got my new tie rods in. Right here. So the car's just sitting without its tie rods, that's totally fine. And I'll put that on, and then I'll take a pause and work on either my Mustang or my Camaro for a little bit. For my mental health, because Ben's just getting, you know, he's just getting out of hand. I keep finding stuff that's wrong with him. I need a little break. If you like this video, please check out my other videos. I do Mustang stuff that I'll link here, and Camaro stuff that I'll link here. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is the driver's side tie rod. I don't know, can you see that? That it's actually bent? So yeah, it's bent. It's not. That's not good. It's also just like a disaster. While I was preparing to do the tie rod job, I came across something else that needed to be replaced. So my plan is I'm gonna just swap out the tie rods, do that, and then I will figure out what I'm going to do for the other thing that I found that needs to be maybe possibly most likely replaced. still looking into that. I just need to get off the Bentley project and I need to get back to Sanity. Sanity is like my Mustang and my Camaro. I've got so much stuff that I want to do with those cars, and those cars really bring me so much happiness. And after I'm working on the same car for so long, my mental stability is fading into oblivion. The long schlong needs to be replaced. The long schlong dong. This is the wackadoodle. Dingle dong. Bye.